Hey there, interwebs. Hope you're all having a good week. Today I'm going to talk about something that a lot of people either haven't heard of to it, and that's androgyny, or being androgynous. For people who are androgynous, myself included, it's going to be different for everyone, but I'm just going to kind of give you a basic overarching view of it and how it is to me. So first off, there's a difference to me between being genderqueer and being androgynous. To me, genderqueer is all in your head, it's psychological. It's when you have days like where either you don't feel like you don't really fit the gender binary, so like you're not male or female. So you're this other gender that there isn't really a word for. It could also be you feel male some days and female some other days, so your gender is really fluid and flows between the two. That's all psychological. And then androgyny is the expression of it, the physical expression of that gender fluidity, kind of. That being said, you don't have to be gender fluid or genderqueer to be androgynous. Because I'm certainly androgynous and I fully identify as a cisgender female. But, so androgyny it's a look, it's the style of how you present yourself. It's the really basic, it's at its most basic point, it's when someone looks at you and is like, I don't know if that's a girl or a boy. That's pretty much what it is. If they look at you and can't tell what gender you are because you're blending different aspects of both of them and you look like you could be either, then that's androgyny. That's when it really is like an actual thing. There's a difference between, like, when you look at someone's like, okay, that's a guy wearing makeup, or that's a girl wearing guy's clothes, or with a mascara beard on, or whatever, and someone who's actually androgynous, because with that, it's the aspect of, like, there are certain aspects of both that are present in how they're expressing themselves, kind of. It is kind of hard to describe because it's one of those things that a lot of people don't really know about, or, like, it's not something they really think about because as humans we try to put things in black and white boxes, and that doesn't really exist with androgyny. Like, for me, it's not something I consciously do, it's how I dress. You know, I tend to wear t-shirts, so when you have small boobs, you look like you don't have any most of the time, unless it's windy and it's like, you know, like if I were to pull my shirt tight, you could obviously tell I'm a girl, but when it's looser, that signal goes away. I wear a lot of guys' pants just because they have fucking pockets. And if you've ever looked at girls' pants or shorts, you cannot fit anything in those pockets. So, guy shorts, sweatpants, best things ever, because you can actually put things in your pockets that are bigger than, like, this. Okay? I don't own things that go in pockets that are smaller than this. So, having guy pants is a good thing. And, you know, like, a lot of people really, like, if I tell them that, I get mistaken as, it's like, oh, you've got a really feminine face. And it's like, you'd be surprised. Short hair paired with rather unisex clothes, people make assumptions. And, this is how I know I'm androgynous, even though that's not, like, my main goal. And that's because when you go into Dunkin' Donuts and the cashier goes, how can I help you, sir? You go, okay. Apparently I look like a dude. Whatever. I think the biggest problem a lot of people who are androgynous run into is people not knowing how to address them, or being, oh, you look like a cross between two genders, so you're going to be transgender, or you're going to be a drag person, or you want to be, you're cross-dressing, or something like that. And that's not true. Androgyny is its own little bubble kind of thing. It's not, and it's kind of like, it encompasses a lot of different aspects. It's not someone who's a female and who wants to be a male, or who wants to look like a male because for whatever reason. It's just someone who, the way they dress, it makes their gender ambiguous. But that's what it is. When you're like that, you run into people who don't know how to address you or who use the wrong pronouns. And, the easiest way for that is when you introduce yourself, you can be like, oh, hey, my name's Juanita, I use female pronouns, kind of thing, except you use your name and your preferred pronouns. If you're an androgynous person, or if you're not an androgynous person and you walk up to someone who you're like, I don't know what gender you are, bro, then don't just be like, well, are you a boy or a girl? Or, like, what are you, kind of thing. That's only acceptable if you're, like, 5 or under, and that's because you don't have a filter and you don't know things. Like, those are the only people who I am completely okay with going, are you a boy or a girl? Because they're little and they don't know any better. And although I do like that more than just, like, if you walk past someone and they give you the look where they're like, I don't know what the fuck you are, bro. And it's like, I can tell you don't know and you're confused, so just ask, but in a polite way, because you know how to be polite and have manners since you're more than 5. And again, that's just you introduce yourself and be like, hey, I'm so-and-so, and these are my preferred pronouns, which people should do when they introduce themselves, but they don't, and I'm guilty of this too. But just to clear up any confusion, or, if you don't want to, like, introduce yourself, or don't want to, and you're still confused or whatever, and you don't want to, like, go up and ask, or then don't do the creepy ass stare where it's like, I don't know what you are. And it's like, no, stop, I can tell you're doing it, and that's really annoying. So, yeah. And it's just, it's one of those things where it's like, bro, people around me are walking around who look a lot more weird than me. The only reason you have a problem with me is because I could be a guy or a girl and you don't know which one. So pull your head out of your ass and just, stop trying to put me in a box that I really don't care to be in, kind of thing. So, and it is really annoying to be misgendered, too. Like, I won't say that I don't get mad when people call me a guy, because I know I do look a lot like one, especially depending on the clothes I'm wearing. Or, like, if I wear my glasses, I tend to have a more, like, my face looks more masculine because it gets broken up. And you can't see my eyes as much, which are, I think, probably the biggest feminine feature on my face. But it's still, like, you could at least ask before assuming something wrong, especially, like, if you've heard me talk, if you've heard my name. I have people who've known me for years who still call me a guy, and it's like, I'm a girl. So use she, not he. And those are the ones who are really annoying. It doesn't annoy me as much when strangers do. Like, androgyny is something that, like, I really like it, and I think it's really cool, and it's just my personal style and what I feel comfortable in. But it can be annoying if other people take it the wrong way, or get confused, or misgender you, and all that stuff. So, just, it's one of those things where you want to, like, use common sense, kind of. If you can't tell and you want to talk to someone, introduce yourself using your preferred pronouns, and then they'll be like, oh, hey, I prefer female pronouns. You're like, cool, then I'll use she and not he. Or I prefer male pronouns. It's like, alright, cool, I'll use he. And then there are some people who prefer gender neutral pronouns, and then you use whatever those are, because I don't remember what they are. It's like Z. There's like a Z in it. But yeah, so that's kind of the basics of androgyny and some of the problems that come along with it. But it is what it is, and you just gotta go with it, pretty much. Because I'm not gonna, I went through a phase where I tried to look like a girl to get people to, I say tried because as in I grew my hair out, to try and get people to gender me correctly, and it still didn't work because then they're like, oh, it's just a guy with long hair, and it's like, no. So, if androgyny is your style, it's cool, but stick with it. Don't let society try and pressure you into dressing like one gender or the other. So, keep on keeping on, I guess. With that, if you have any more questions for me, or if I didn't explain it very well and somewhere you want me to try again, let me know in the comments. There's also my Twitter and my email address in the description. If you have any more questions for me, or you have suggestions for something else that you want me to talk about, send me them there or in the comments, or to do whatever you want. And with that, my name is Diaz. I make these videos every Saturday, and I will catch y'all next week.